If a company is using absorption costing, it's going to have to find a basis upon which to allocate the fixed costs. So how are fixed costs going to be allocated where absorption costing is used, and how's the company going to do it in an accurate way? This is especially important where a company is manufacturing multiple products. Now, there are a number of possible ways in terms of how we can allocate the fixed costs. I'll run you through some of them. We can allocate them based on the units produced or the number of units produced. If it's rental, we can allocate those costs based on the proportion of the factory utilized, the area utilized for that particular good versus other goods. If we're allocating salaries, we can say we can look at the time spent on specific products by employees and allocate those salaries pro rata. If we're looking at depreciation and allocating that, we can say how many units were produced and allocate the depreciation based on that. We can use labor hours and the related costs. We can use machine hours. There are a number of ways that we can do so. So in practice, in reality, the accurate allocation of the fixed costs is often extremely difficult, particularly where there are multiple units produced. Often companies will simply apply a generic overhead recovery rate based on a specific or chosen parameter. And all that overhead recovery rate is simply a predetermined rate charged that allows them to allocate the fixed costs to each unit of production. Let's do an example to illustrate how this may work. So in this example, we've got two products. We've got product A, and we're producing 1,000 units, and we've got product B, where we're producing 2,000 units. So in total, we've got 3,000 units that are being produced. In order to produce those products, there are fixed costs that come up to 900,000. The fixed costs come up to 900,000. How would we allocate those fixed costs to the units that are produced? If we had to allocate the fixed cost based on the number of units that are produced, we've got in total 3,000 units. So we'll take the fixed cost of 900,000 divided by the 3,000 units that are produced, and we would allocate to each and every single unit that's produced 300. That's 300. So if we had to break up the costs that are allocated to product A and to product B, we would say product A has 1,000 units that are produced. For each unit, we're going to allocate 300 of the fixed costs. Therefore, the fixed costs allocated to product A would amount to 300,000. Similarly, for product B, there are 2,000 units that are produced in product B. We are allocating 300 of fixed costs to each unit. Therefore, in total, the fixed costs allocated to product B are going to be 600,000. For each of product A and for each of product B, would allocate 300 worth of fixed costs. To get to the total cost of production, we would say, what are the fixed costs of 300? Add on the variable costs, whatever they may be, and that will give us a total cost of production for each of product A and each of product B.